We're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smells Like Teen Angst. We are back on our podcast after show shit. And we are talking about It, Welcome to Derry, which is the prequel series on HBO Max. Or is it just Max now? What is their name?
I think it's back to HBO MAX.
Straight up
Yeah.
HBO Max. They put the HBO back in which makes sense. To the movies. And I feel like that's important to like the newer movies, not the miniseries, not the books. And I think that's important to note. But before we start, I want to ask each of you, when you were introduced to it, like, was it the book? Was it the miniseries? Like, what was the first moment that you were like, oh, hey, this is a creepy clown story, and then some?
So I watched the miniseries, I feel like probably shortly after it aired, because I was at family where we recorded everything on VHS tapes. So we had it sitting around the house, and one day it was raining, and I had 4 hours to spare, and my brother was like, hey, come watch this. And that was like my very first, like I had seen horror movies, but that was the first horror movie that I became obsessed with. And then Scream came out like right after that, and now we're here today.
You're like, that was my gateway. Like it was Jordan's gateway drug. Keiki, when were you introduced to it?
So I don't know what year Sex and the City came out, but I do remember that when it came out, it was running on HBO, like the miniseries, old movie version of it. And that was when I was first introduced to it. So I don't know, I was like 9-ish, but it was creepy. It was a clown, it was horror, it was something that I knew I shouldn't watch, so I watched it.
You're like, I'm in trouble. Mine, I remember this vividly because it started my fear of clowns. I was 6 years old, and my brother, who is 7 years older than me, and as you know, my brother, he's ginormous. He has always been a big guy. Was watching it and saw I was getting scared and literally held my eyes open as a child to watch all of the finale stuff with like it as the clown anytime he showed up in the beginning for Georgie, all of that. Eyes open anytime I cowered. So I blame Tim Curry's magnificent performance for my reason of being terrified of clowns.
That's
And
Tim Curry?
yeah, the original It.
Girl, you didn't know that?
No.
Well, now you
Yes.
do.
He's
Kicked off
played
my Tim Curry obsession, baby.
he's played so many scary things in my life. This is why I love this man.
And they're all fuckable.
Jordan said, "Hear me out."
Hear me out.
Hear me out. That devil.
Hear me out.
I mean,
Tim Curry?
The legend, yeah.
Even Hexus?
Hexus.
Oh, Hexus, especially that song where it's all oily and like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. I love the song.
Yeah.
Muppet Treasure Island, like Clue.
Yeah. Clue, the butler in Clue. Like,
And how can I forget Dr. Frankenfurter? Like,
facts.
Well, Tim Curry, all your characters are fuckable. Quote of the week.
Right. Even, wasn't he in one of the Home Alone movies? Like
Yeah.
the New York one in the hotel. Like, so yeah,
Mhm.
I get it.
Tim Curry can get it across every universe. That's all I have to say.
Where we're at. Even his Pennywise. I think that's where I personally draw the line, but I understand. I will not yuck your yum. For those that like might not, I read this book actually recently because I remember skimming it as a kid and not really understanding it because it's 1,000 pages, right? Stephen King does write short stories and he writes novels. And this is one of the weirdest stories of all time. And I appreciate the things that were cut out of the miniseries and all the things cut out of the new movies, which I loved the new movies. Did you guys like them? I think they're scarier.
So I'm a huge, like, I grew up in a Stephen King house, and my mom was on bed rest when she was pregnant with me, and so she'd send my brother to the library for books, and a lot of them were Stephen King. So I actually blame her for all of this. So I grew up in a Stephen King house, and I read it once as a kid and didn't really understand it, and then once as an adult, and it hit. And I definitely think Stephen King is at his best when, I think all horror, but especially him, is at his best when he's using it as a metaphor for something else. So it is not really about a horror movie. It's about the loss of childhood and innocence. And like Pet Sematary is about grief, etc., etc. Like that's when it's at its best. That being said, his editor in it needed to be just a little meaner and just cut a few more things.
A
And
few?
that's why I do.
Girl, let's, yeah.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice because Stephen King is active on the internet. Okay. Um, no, but that's why I like the miniseries and I really like the movies because I think that they came in and they said, "How are we going to translate this to the screen?" Uh,
And
and
not
they
make
just
it gross.
yes, yeah, that's yep, that.
Yeah. And not also dive into like his celestial lore. Because if you don't read his books, you don't understand there's so much celestial lore that also ties his stories together. And there was a little Easter egg of that,
Dark
which I will
Tower.
get into when we talk about it. Um, but for those who may not know, just like hearing us talk, it follows the Losers Club. It's like 7 kids in the original. You've got Bill, Beverly, Ben, Richie, Eddie, Mike Hanlon, and Stan. I use Hanlon because it's important. Um, so like it is an entity, just an entity that is older than time that attacks children because they're easy prey. He feeds off of fear, he feeds off of grief, he feeds off of all the dark, sad things. And he haunts this town of Derry. He comes every 27 years to refeed again. So in the original one, and I guess and in the movies too, their kids when he attacks, they think they've defeated him. They have to come back to the town 27 years later to defeat him again. And I think that's so interesting because like you can never outrun your grief. You can never outrun your terror. You always have to face the trauma, right? Is kind of how I've
It will it resurfaces.
right. Which
And as an adult now, it's very interesting because if you've ever gone back to your hometown, right? Like you are going to get hit by memories that you did not even think were still stored in your brain. And it literally happened to me the other day. I was going somewhere and I drove a route that I normally don't drive and went past like one of my old ex's houses. Completely forgot I'd even dated this fucking guy until I was right outside of his parents' old house. Like,
yeah, it's that's why I like that part in the movie and the book where they forgot everything except for the kid, like Mike Hanlon, who stays, right? So they all forget once they leave. Um, this is important because the original books took place in like the 80s and the 50s. So I had to write this down because, I'm not good with dates in movies. So the 2017 movie remake timeline, the first one is in 1988 and the adult is in 2017. That way it's like more modern, more relevant. So this show takes place in 1962, which is 27 years before our first movie. Not miniseries, clarifying for those out there.
It's been deleted.
It's been deleted. The miniseries with John Boy, we don't talk about it. Just kidding. We now have Bill Skarsgård taking over the role, and we are here for it. And he's supposed to be in this series. We just haven't seen him yet.
he's an executive producer on it too.
Yeah,
He really fought to get this made, which I find fantastic.
me too. I love it. Like we're diving. I love that we're getting deeper into a lore, into the world, because we've only heard from the kids who went through the library, and they do it again in this series of learning
Yeah.
how he comes back every 27 years. So like the plan of the show is 1962, 1935, 1908 for like season 1, 2, 3. So I feel like in 1908 we'll like see it as a human because like in the movie, remember they go back and see him with the
Yeah.
circus or whatever. Um, but we have 7 new kids. I don't know if you guys counted. I wrote it down and then I counted because the original Losers Club is 7. We now have 7. We have Terry, who's the Jewish kid. Phil, I'm
Uh-huh.
calling him Plane Boy, like the one that's counting the planes. Ronnie is the girl at the movie theater. Lily is the bullied pickle girl. Maddie is the boy who goes missing in the cold open. Marge is Lily's best friend, and Susie is Phil's little sister.
Okay, so I was wondering if Susie and Maddie counted.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think any of the kids count. Well,
Oh,
not I don't want to say any of them. I think the only kids that count right now are Lily and Ronnie.
yes. But we also don't know
And
if he only ever steals 7 children. Like we don't know the number, you
well,
know.
so okay, so if we're going based off of the book, and the miniseries, and then even the movies, is that he just steals children randomly, right? So there's always a string of missing children every 27 years. And they don't specify how many it is. They've also never said that there are other losers clubs. And that's why I think I'm not gonna lie. It took me a second to get into this episode, and I was kind of like, what the fuck was this when I got to the ending? And I had to sit with it for like 20 minutes and really think about it. And now I really like it, and I appreciate the direction that I think they're going in, because I think that whole episode was to set us up into this false sense of security and make us think that we're getting another losers club and make it feel like it's a callback. And then half of them fucking die at the end of the episode.
I
And we're only left with Lily and
know.
Ronnie. So I think it was their way of being like, oh, you think you know what's going on, but like you actually fucking don't.
Yeah. Well,
And that's why I was saying I don't think any of the kids matter besides Lily and Ronnie at this point.
that's fair.
I agree.
That's fair. I'm like, because I wrote like, are they gonna be, are we gonna end up in its lair at the end? And we're all gonna see them into the light, like, is that where the kids are going? Because he's like seasoning them with fear in their dreams. But we don't know. We're not there. But let's talk about this cold open, because I agree with you, Jordan. When I watched this, I was like, it's really campy. It's gory, but on a budget. Like, it's very like cheap CGI, demon baby with wings. Like that whole thing. But I did like how it set up the world in this cold open a bit. Like, we know horror also tackles big subject matter, and a big one is Ronnie and her father being a black family owning a movie theater. We meet the military Hanlon, who I think is going to be related to Mike Hanlon eventually.
He better be.
He has, with that last name, it has to be like his granddaddy, or like even maybe like that guy, that military guy's his grandpa, and like his children, someone like his kids, maybe his son, or like
even an uncle. I don't know. They've got to be tied
related. There's the Hanlon, that's too big of a last name to drop, and no one else's last name is dropped. Even Stan, like the kid Terry, who's also Jewish, and Stan was it Stan that was Jewish? I think so. They have different last
Stan.
So
I also like that it's giving, like, adding in that man, it's giving a level of history to Derry, of like the phases that this town has gone through.
absolutely. This also being like a secret military base that no one knows, and they're flying special planes. I'm like, we're about to go into this like weird world, and I'm here.
Not any plane. My favorite plane, the B-52 bomber. I was like, are we going to show it? And I'm sorry.
Why do you love the B-52 bomber?
Because it looks like Batman's fucking plane. It's just so, and it's a stealth bomber, Like, if you see that motherfucker fly, it's magnificent, and it's silent.
So let's dive into the cold open. We open up in a theater. They're watching The Music Man, which is like there's trouble in the city. Like, what a perfect song to use, because it's got so many layers, right? That all like make it talk about Derry. I love that we've got like the necking couple, the grumpy old lady, and this is where we meet Maddie, who's like sucking out a pacifier, and he's way too old to be sucking out a pacifier. And you can just tell he's like a really sad kid who gets run out of the theater and gets picked up by a car. And at first I was like, this family is fine with not driving him home and taking him to, we're going to Portland. I was like, that was my first clue. I was like, something is not okay.
Yeah, the second they were like, oh yeah, hitchhiking child, we'll take you to Portland. What?
What? Never.
No.
Never.
And then it does a really good job of building tension, suspense, and creep. Like, starting with the daughter who opens the thing of livers and sticks her hand in it, trying to get him to sniff it. The son who only spells things. And then the mom who, like, we get the birth of this double-headed demon-winged child. And I was like, what is happening?
I did not need to see it crash through her fucking faja. Like, that was just too much for me. It was really just the girdle baby birth thing was too much for me.
Here's the thing. I knew what my limits are going into this show. Like, I don't do goopy things or like a lot of fake blood. Those are things that, like, even the sight of real blood makes me super nauseous. Like, there are just certain things that I know are no-goes for me. I didn't realize that weird babies were one of them until I watched it last night. Fuck your weird baby. I don't like it.
It's like Nightmare on Elm Street 4, like the dream child, when he's like crawling as the baby Freddy out of the mom. Like, you're just like, why are we here? It's like the creepy baby in Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
I don't
want.
want.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Even though I use that GIF often.
It's the dancing
Yeah.
baby. But can I just tell you, somebody had it by the umbilical cord and was just swinging it around, I was dying. I was like, What are we doing here?" But also, I know exactly what I'm getting into. I feel like it really
Yeah.
set me up for the weirdness. Also, all the kids did the weird Bill Skarsgård it eye at one point,
Hmm.
and I was like, and it was like the hint. If you didn't get it was it, like that was your next clue. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
was like, she did the it eye. She did the it eye. That was my first clue.
I can't do it. But yeah, so like that's our first like kid death in this is like this poor boy, his pacifier goes flying. He's done. And now he's the one that's going to haunt the sewer pipes trying to get his friends to come down and save him, but we all know it's not him. Um the show then after this crazy baby car incident jumps ahead 4 months to April 1962. I don't know if that date's going to be important, but I am saying it for future us. Um, this is where we meet our military vets, Major Leroy Hanlon, who we all think is going to be related to Mike, and Polly. They are transferred to this super secret military base to fly Kiki's favorite plane. We see all like a ton of racism at the top, and I appreciate that Dexter's dad stepped in right away. Sir will get coffee soon.
Hmm.
He's in our neighborhood. I get coffee with him all the time. Um, you either know him as Dexter's dad or Richard from Sex and the City or Papa Salvatore. He's in a lot of stuff. Um, and then we jump to this thing, and I'm just going to talk about the military storyline first. Like at the end, these men in gas masks roll up wanting the specs of this plane. And I'm like, who are these people? Is it the racist military men who are mad they don't get to fly the plane? Is it some secret op that's coming in to steal the plans for Russia? Like, it was a very weird storyline for me. I'm like, cool, we're going to set this up, but like, also, why? You know?
What if it's it? No, I'm just
We,
kidding.
I, no, but at some point, I do think Pennywise is going to have to be part of it, right? Like, why else would we be here? So I don't know where we're going yet, but I am here for it. I like what they've set up so far, and with his last name being Hamlin, it's got to connect to Mike somehow. So I think this is one where we just got to watch it and be patient.
Yeah. And we know his family's coming, so we're going to meet his wife and the Hanlons and stuff. So it's like, it was just an interesting setup that I wonder if it was something we didn't need for this episode and could have been done in the next one. And we could have just concentrated on the kids since it was already so many moving pieces. I don't know. I don't know. But I was like, we're going with planes, racism, and Hanlons. Um, into Derry High School. This is where we meet those 7 other children that may or may not matter. We meet Lily and she's being bullied by pickle jars. And I was like, who bullies with pickle jars? And then later we learn her sad story of why it's with pickle jars. And I'm like, these kids are ruthless.
Right? Like we
Ruthless.
talk about how bad bullying is now because of the internet, and I'm like, they done filled this girl's locker with pickle jars. Like it doesn't get worse. Okay, it does not get like that is peak horrific bullying.
Yeah. Because we learned like Maddie was this kid that everyone like was secretly friends with, it seems like. And like he had a big crush on her and he took her to this like lighthouse. And she shares like about her dad, and her dad worked in a jar factory and slipped into a grinder he thought had been unplugged and the power was off, and he dies horrifically, and everyone's like, oh, his body was put into pickle jars and passed around town, and you're gonna bully this girl who loses her dad with pickle jars? I can't.
So creative to me. I'm sorry. Look, one of my mainstays on this channel is I don't think kids are bullied like they used to be.
This
And
just proves that in a way,
and this
like
proves
great.
that,
Well, this
like
proves it. They're not.
people are not humbled anymore. And that's why everyone's so loud out their mouth just saying any and everything on the internet because they haven't been properly bullied. You
Mhm.
need to be bullied. It builds character, okay? Not to the point where you like, unalive yourself. But like again, I think it builds character. I think we all wouldn't be who we are today if we weren't bullied a little bit, right? Right.
I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't
Can't
answer.
answer it.
Both of you were bullied though, right?
Yes, horrifically.
Look, but I'm just saying, would I be a little bit better off with a little less trauma in my backstory? Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd have the comedic timing. Like this funniness is like
A
a
trauma
blanket of
response?
trauma, you know? It's a trauma response.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You can't hurt my feelings. I've already had them hurt.
Right. There's nothing else you could say to me that hasn't already been said.
Mhm.
Um, we also meet her bestie Marge, who doesn't have a huge role in this episode other than like kind of being introduced. Um, and I was trying to look up what she was from because I recognized her face and I have completely forgotten. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. I'll have it for the next one. Um, in that story of Lily and Maddie hanging out the lighthouse, I don't. The significance of the turtle is such Stephen King it nonsense lore, and I wonder if it's going to come into play. Kiki, I'm going to ramble for a minute. Enjoy this nonsense because the turtle and it are basically the two entities that were around before time. And the turtle is the one when not Mike, Billy, whatever, in the original one, when he goes into the light, it's actually to talk to this turtle. And the turtle is the one who tells them how to defeat it with light and happiness and friendship and love. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And the idea is like it is the consumer, the turtle is the creator who vomited out the universe. Like this is how the universe began in Stephen King lore.
Turtles all
So,
the way down.
you
Yeah,
know,
literally.
and so
Literally, turtles all the way down.
turtles all the way down. So I'm just like, look, so this turtle charm, I was like, it's an Easter egg, but I also feel like it's gonna have to have some sort of like importance because
That
that's
was one thing that I was wondering whether or not they're just Easter egging for fans of Stephen King and we can do the Leonardo DiCaprio with the screen meme thing when we see it, or if it is going to come back around and be actually significant.
yeah. So I was like, maybe that just is like she's the final girl. She's the one chosen by the turtle to take like to defeat it in this like time. Anyway, I just had to share that. I was like, the turtle shit is ridiculous. But I had to share it because I know, like, Kiki, I don't think you've read the book. So I'm like, enjoy the turtle that was cut out of the movies.
No, I tried to
But
read the book, and again, I was too young and it was too many words, and I don't think I absorbed like any of it. I was just like, this doesn't make any sense, you know?
Because like when Bill defeats it, he like, when they go into the light, he goes into like the greater cosmic plane. And like that's where the turtle's like, hello, this is how you defeat him. So it's like friendship and love. Yeah,
yeah,
the opposite of fear. So friendship and love and loss of innocence. And that's how I'll say that. I'll just say loss of innocence. Back to the story. Meeting the two boys, I love their little friendship, Phil and Terry. Like he's Phil's such a conspiracy theorist with his like red planet and knowing that the planes are coming in and out at specific times. And you have Terry that's like the realist, and I also think is gay because he did not want to look at the lady, and he's.
oh, yeah. Look,
Mm.
Phil, I'm not gonna lie, Phil got on my last nerve, and my favorite part was when Terry did snap on him. And and because Lily's trying to tell him about, hearing the voices and Maddie's in the sewer, blah, blah. And Phil's trying to shut her down. And Terry is like, bro, you have told me 8 million ways that aliens have already crashed on this planet and taken over half the people in this town. And you want to tell me you don't believe her? Shut the fuck up.
Mhm.
Exactly, because Lily's the first to get the Maddie like touch, right? She's like in her bathroom, he hears him singing in a voice and little fingers that come out of the thing.
Little finger.
I was like, la, 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 la. Um, but I think that Terry had the scariest interaction because we learn this horrific story from his father at dinner. No, yeah, Terry, where they're talking about the like Jewish people in concentration camps, and there was a thing that I googled after watching this about a skin lamp, all that like Ed Gein that was made out of people, and it is like someone had one. They've done some testing. They can't quite prove it, but they think it is. It's one of those things. So when like Terry's lights like flashing, and then all of a sudden his lamp becomes that skin lamp from his dad, and that freaked him out. I was like, this is terrifying. And
So
then
It was
terrifying.
okay. Mentally it was terrifying. Physically, I couldn't get over the bad CGI.
like the mumbling mouths.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I can't remember what show it was, but it looked like when they would like run over a face and like a cartoon that I watched as a
Oh
kid.
yeah.
Um,
See that. Or in like Doctor Who, like the one that's like the stretched person that lives.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very
I
much
was
what
getting
it looked
Doctor Who.
like. That's what it looked like too. Yeah, so I couldn't like take it seriously, but again, I do like I gave it the because of the time this is all taking
Mhm.
place, like I give it this like leeway of it can kind of be bad, right? Because the time period, I don't know.
I think it's just supposed to be campy. I don't think it's
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah.
like big budget, crazy good. You know what I mean? It's campy, it's low budget, it's it. You know what I mean? It's not the movies, it's the show.
Mhm.
So I give it a little grace on that. I was like, if that had happened to me in real life, it would be feeding off of my body. So like
Oh
that,
yeah.
you know what I mean? The idea of that is so, so scary. And I appreciate that we really only got two instances. I didn't think we needed to go through every single person that touched Maddie the way they do in the original one. I'm like, we get two. Now everyone believes both of them, and we can go investigate and figure out what happened to our friend, what's going on. Is he in the pipes? Because they're like, he's in the pipes and he's in the sewers. They put that together. And I love that they go to the library and start looking through like the lithographs to try and like put together things like a detective. And that's how we get to Ronnie, who interacted with Maddie in the very beginning in the cold open at the theater to save him from the manager that was trying to run him out. Um, and I think like to show where we're going to go a little bit with the Hanlons and with them, she talks about how the police tried to pin Maddie's disappearance on her father just because he was at the movie theater. And we all know it's not just because he was at the movie theater.
Yeah.
So I was like, exactly. So it has literally seasoned his children, and they are all feeling guilt because Lily didn't want to like kiss Maddie and felt bad. The boys feel like they've neglected their friend. Ronnie feels like she let Maddie down, you know, so there's all this stuff. And then poor Phil's little sister just dragged into the mix. I feel like for no reason other than just being a
For
child.
no reason.
No reason. He had a baby.
Yeah.
Because there
Just
was nobody
the
else to watch it that afternoon.
exactly. Just for the take your sister.
Take your
We all know.
sister, the
Like,
good speller, also a good speller. I've caught that. Right.
yeah.
Right in cursive. And that's where we get like, you know, they're all filled with guilt, shame, trauma, all the things that amplify fear, and of course, what it consumes. And so they're trying to figure out, since they were watching the music band, they start putting it together, watching that scene, and they see Maddie holding a baby in the movie. And I was like, oh, this is such a nod, and I love this. And then it comes back to that double-headed, creepy-ass winged baby coming through and murking everyone, like exploding them into pieces, ripping when that poor girl's out there holding the little child's hand because that's all that was left of her.
That shot was fantastic.
That was a great shot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the crawling over the seats
Oh yeah.
is very
Yeah.
it. And I love that, like, there's nowhere to run type of
Yeah.
situation.
Poor Ronnie's locked in the like the projector room. She can't get out to even help anybody. Terry's face gets slammed up against the glass.
Mhm.
I was like, this is like aggressive, and I like it.
Yeah.
And in the end, all we have, as you said in the beginning, Jordan, is Lily and Ronnie and Marge, because Marge
Yeah.
didn't go with them. That's all we have left are these three girls to figure out what now just happened. How do they explain it to anyone? Because also the question is, will there be any evidence? Because a lot of times this stuff is in their heads, right? Like, yes, he's
Mhm.
killing them, but there's not going to be all the blood everywhere. Like she has the missing hand, but is it actually going
Yeah.
to be there? Because a lot of it's illusion.
Well, and that's the other thing. Does she actually have a missing hand? Is it just an illusion? So I just think we have three more missing children now.
Yeah. So I'm like, are they actually dead or are they just like in the cave of wonders, like floating up in the air?
Exactly. Like they go back in and there's
We all
just
float
missing
down here.
children.
We
There's
all
no
float down here. I need a balloon. I haven't had a balloon. We need a balloon.
We do need a balloon nod.
Yeah, exactly. We all float down here. Overall, I think I agree with what you were saying in the beginning, Jordan. Like, what am I getting into? How is this happening? I'm going to sit with it, understand that it is going to be a low budget, campy, fun horror time. Like, kind of like Hysteria, kind of like Evil Dead when they did that TV show, and I'm just here for the ride. I'm ready. I think it was
Yeah,
a really good way to set up the story.
I think it's going to be a good time.
I think it's going to be a good time. I think that it's going to play into the tropes and stereotypes of the time as well that we're in. And that's going to add a different level and layer of the situation. And then we're going to get Derry backstory. I really hope we're not going like for all girl ragtag team because shows do that all the time now. And I'm just like, is it really original anymore? Like that's just how I feel about it. But I'm still in. I'm invested. It's campy. It's horror.
We'll see where it goes. I can't wait for more Easter eggs. I'm really excited to dive into the Hanlons and kind of figure out if Mike is like if one of these is his dad or his cousin or nephew. Nephew.
And I just want to see Bill Skarsgård, please.
Please, when are we actually going to see him?
What if he's only in like one episode at the end? He wouldn't do that to us. Would he do that to us? He would do that to
He
us.
wouldn't do that to us.
I don't know. We'll have to see. But we don't get to cheat and watch ahead. We only get an episode a week, just like you guys. Just a little early so we can talk about it. But yeah, I'm excited for next week. We'll see what happens. We're going to see how this all plays out in the end because we have so much with the military attack because he's got to tell somebody. And then
yeah.
with these kids going missing like this, there's a lot of loose ends and I'm excited to see where they go.
Hopeful.
Hopeful. Awesome. Anything else you guys want to add that I missed? Did I hit everything?
No, we got it. I
Yeah.
got it.
And my weird turtle lore. I like it. And a music
Look,
man.
the longer this goes on, the more Stephen King lore we're just going to end up dropping. It's going to be great, guys.
It'll be good because I'm a weirdo. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you guys on the next one. Make sure to follow Smells Like Teen Angst on all your favorite platforms. Shoot us an email if you want to talk about this. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.